Let's jump right into this explainer. Today, we're unpacking a fascinating and honestly, practically invisible security risk that might literally be active on your systems right now. We are looking at RFC 7123, which breaks down the security implications of IPv6 on what you probably intend to be strictly IPv4-only enterprise networks. Because it turns out, just ignoring IPv6 definitely doesn't mean it's not there.
So I want you to ask yourself a critical question. Is your network actually IPv4 only? Are you 100% sure? Because what's really wild is that even if your security policies, your hardware, and your entire mindset are entirely focused on IPv4, your network could be harboring traffic you can't even see. Most general-purpose operating systems today, they have native IPv6 enabled right out of the box.
Well, it's basically a Trojan horse situation. You expect this strictly controlled IPv4 environment, right? A place where every single packet is inspected by your firewall standing guard at the front door. But the reality is that modern operating systems naturally want to communicate over IPv6. Since they enable native capabilities and tunneling mechanisms by default, that traffic could be quietly slipping right out the back door without you ever knowing.
Here is our roadmap for this explainer. We will start with the hidden IPv6 threat, look at how it bypasses IPv4 defenses, and explore the danger of tunnels. Then, we pivot to the fix, blocking native IPv6 traffic, filtering tunneling technologies, and finally, securing your network.
Section 1. The hidden IPv6 threat, the illusion of control.
The absolute core vulnerability here is that your IPv4-focused intrusion detection systems and your firewalls are often completely blind to default IPv6 traffic. Think about it. If your NIDS is only looking for IPv4 attack patterns, a bad actor using an IPv6 transition technology just waltzes right past it. It's like they're invisible. Plus, your internal hosts might suddenly gain global reachability, totally bypassing the natural protection of an IPv4 NAT. And for remote workers, dual-stacked hosts can actually leak sensitive VPN traffic. Not great at all.
Moving to Section 2. Bypassing IPv4 defenses, invisible traffic.
Let's look at a classic local network attack. An attacker who already has a foothold on your local network can literally just impersonate a router. By blasting out malicious router advertisement messages, they trick local machines into automatically configuring their own IPv6 addresses. And just like that, boom, your meticulously crafted IPv4 security controls are rendered completely useless because the host is now chatting away on an entirely different protocol plane. And it's not just local attackers you have to worry about, Your own tools can actually betray you. If your organization uses VPN software that's IPv6 unaware, meaning it only knows how to route and encrypt IPv4, it just ignores the active IPv6 stack entirely. The result? That IPv6 traffic leaks out totally unencrypted. You are exposing your supposedly secure data straight to the wild internet.
Section 3. The danger of tunnels, backdoors by default.
Let's clearly define what we are actually dealing with here. Think of tunneling as digital smuggling. A tunneling mechanism takes an IPv6 packet and encapsulates it entirely within an ordinary IPv4 packet. It is exactly like slipping a secret message into a totally normal-looking envelope. Your IPv4 firewall sees a standard, boring IPv4 packet and lets it right through, completely unaware that it's carrying a totally different protocol inside.
Now, what makes these protocols absolutely terrifying is that they are automatic. Things like ISOTAP and Teredo, they can activate all on their own. ISOTAP, for instance, has historically been enabled by default on Microsoft Windows systems. And Teredo is even bolder. It was specifically designed as a last resort technology to punch holes through network address translation devices. It traverses your NAT without the network admin ever doing a single thing. Pretty wild, right? Okay, Section 4. Blocking native IPv6 traffic. Plugging the holes. If your network is strictly IPv4, you've got to plug the holes at the very foundation. First things first, stop the native IPv6 traffic dead in its tracks at Layer 2. Have your switches block Ethernet frames using protocol type 0x86DD. Once you have done that, implement RA-Guard to ignore those malicious router advertisements we talked about earlier. Then, deploy DHCPv6-Shield to protect your network against rogue configuration servers.
Section 5. Filtering tunneling technologies, setting the rules.
To build a rock-solid perimeter defense against these digital smugglers, we can apply some very specific filtering rules pulled straight from Appendix A of RFC 7123. Notice how IP protocol 41 is the prime target for technologies like 6 and 4, 6 to 4, and ISAP. By dropping IPv4 packets that use protocol 41, you eliminate a massive chunk of your risk right there. And for Teredo, you will want to specifically block outgoing UDP traffic destined for port 3544. But listen, we can't just drop the packets and call it a day. If you block the tunnels, your modern operating systems will still stubbornly try to use them. They'll just sit there waiting for timeouts, causing delays and completely breaking your apps. To fix this, you've got to configure your local DNS servers. When a host asks for an IPv6 address, a AAA record, your DNS should respond with R-code 0 or no error. It's essentially providing a polite, empty answer. This gracefully forces the host to fall back to IPv4 immediately.
All right, Section 6, Securing Your Network, the Action Plan.
Here is your battle plan. Step 1. Security 101. Enforce a strict default deny policy. If traffic isn't explicitly required, block it. No exceptions. Step 2. Apply those transition traffic filters we just went over right at your organizational perimeter. But Step 3 is honestly the absolute most crucial. Do not rely solely on your firewall. You've got to use endpoint management to disable these transition mechanisms directly on all your internal host operating systems. That is how you stop accidental or malicious internal use entirely.
Now, I want to leave you with a bit of a reality check directly from RFC 7123. The authors clearly state that filtering IPv6 traffic should generally only be considered a temporary measure until IPv6 is officially deployed. Let's be real, the internet is moving to IPv6, and trying to block it forever, that's a losing battle. The ultimate fix isn't building a higher wall. It is achieving full security parity on a native, properly managed IPv6 deployment.
So the big question for you to take away from this explainer is this. Are you absolutely sure your firewall is seeing all your traffic today? And more importantly, are you taking active steps to truly prepare your network for the IPv6 transition? Or are you just sort of hiding from it? Check your logs, inspect your OS defaults, and please start plugging those invisible blind spots today.